Yeah, how's it going? Today is 7th of December, Saturday, and we're gonna be taking a look at the market and some of the developments and everything what's happening. I guess, kind of right. We would begin by taking a look at UK, progressing to EU. There's a lot of developments when it comes to internet connection and or perhaps connectivity within Europe, submarine cables, but perhaps we can take a look at trade agreement, and we're gonna close today's video by taking a look at some of the developments when it comes to defense and some of the players in the market, that is Estonian-based companies, and some of the I guess, great work that they might have done, but I haven't read any of those articles. Let's read them together and let's try to understand what's going on, right? First article, that would be 500 million deal to maintain hundreds of jobs in Northeast for years to come. Northeast, sure, sure. Government helps deliver a train building deal that will give Hitachi's Newton on cliff side a future, helping protect hundreds of jobs in Northeast. Previously, we were taking a look at this contract previously, as well as yesterday I have read some documents. I have done a little bit of research, but this article was published yesterday. Oh, okay. And yesterday I have did a little bit on developments how to do battery-powered trains. Most likely, but not necessarily that they will. I was taking a look at HS1, that will be linked between London and France. From the HS2, that will be a link of trains going to most likely Birmingham area, as well as if it's gonna be northeast, most likely we're gonna be taking a look at additional link that would go around the coast in northeast area, but it's long. It's entire subject is very complex, but by some dense risk manufacturers, right, that would need to be considered. When it comes to this kind of investment, 500 million, different type of trains. Most of the trains based on what I have read yesterday. It could be diesel or electricity, but those would power it with batteries. There might be some advantages of having different type of trains, right? But perhaps I can share that document that I have read, right? And from there, let's continue with this article. Briefly, we won't gonna read entire. That's 5 documents, right? We can take a look at the most likely Hitachi, right? So that would be this Hitachi just what some of the developments might be. That would be a brand new battery technology to be trialed at Transpennine train. I guess first ever trial in UK to be replace diesel engines with batteries on the intercity trains and underway. Pioneering collaboration between Gel Train and Otran Pencil Express Turntide Technologies and Hitachi Rail. Hitachi Rail has built battery using Northeast supply chain with one battery unit predicted to reduce emissions and no fuel cost by as much as 30%. So perhaps some of the developments, most likely that's what they're referring to, right? And perhaps I can share some of that articles for people who like to do more of the deep dive. But anyway, let's come back to this government especially. So that would be hundreds of jobs protected as government helps land a deal to secure Newton and Clive's future. First group, Angle Trains and Hitachi strikes deal to keep jobs in Northeast. Deal is latest example of working people feeling benefit of the government creating the right atmosphere for business to invest in the UK. Deal comes as the Prime Minister launched plan for change. I don't know all the details, but I think they might have number of locations, right? Not necessarily just this particular location. There might be other locations that I have tried perhaps reaching out to, but there was nobody to respond, by the way. But anyway, government helps deliver train building deal that will give Hitachi's Newton and life side the future, helping protect hundreds of jobs in the Northeast. Future Group, Hitachi and Angle Trains have struck a deal to build 14 state-of-the-art trains to be used on rail lines across UK as part of 500 million deal that will uplift the industrial heartlands and boost rail service for passengers across UK. The government has delivered meaningful engagement and a stable economy and a proper strategy for rail, which has created the right atmosphere for this deal to happen. Northeast is a key of UK's industrial headquarters, and this sensible approach which has been supported by North, perhaps let's skip names and perhaps some of the statements. It's ensuring that the region isn't behind or being left behind. It follows the Prime Minister visiting manufacturing plants in April and promising to help secure jobs. Sure. The announcement comes as Prime Minister's Transport Secretary visits the site to speak with the staff and hear first. I don't know if that's relevant. If I could, it's good that they are there, they understand if they're visiting. I would rather stick with what would be important. Okay, so if government is making this kind of investment, what's the return on this kind of investment? How many jobs, for how long those jobs would be created? If we're gonna build those trains, how more efficient those trains would be? How much in savings would be? Would that be a part of driving down the ticket price? And would that lead to more people traveling? What about travel time? So if it used to take 3 hours, can it take down to 1 hour of the travel times? That's important information. I wish I could see that kind of information here. That would be very, very important information to have. The ambitious milestones that will be delivered real improvements to people's lives. The government is determining the revised living standards across the country. They're building Britain with 1.5 million new homes, and hospital backlogs put 13,000 police back on the beat. Sure, and give every child the best start. What? I don't know. There's no finances, right? So there's nothing about finances. I thought investment, entrepreneurship, creating the similar opportunities to inspire more businesses. I mean, it's great, but you know, I mean, and then I'm not being very positive, I guess. The government has been working from day one to solve problems, not create them. Okay. Today's visit affirms government support for rail manufacturing. In the UK, our commitment to develop a long-term strategy to secure the industrial sustainable future. It provides a pipeline for orders in strong. Is strong with the number of operators in the market for new trains, providing contract opportunities for all UK rolling stock manufacturers. Okay, for all UK rolling stock manufacturers, there isn't any. If there are maybe 2 or 3 companies, right? So for all 2 or 3 companies, right? The agreement will deliver 14 new 5-car class 18X Hitachi electric or bi-mode trains, a total of 70 cars delivered by new trains and expected to be commenced in the late 2027. In addition, the agreement provides First Group the option to lease up of further 13 5-car trains should they recently estimate other open access applications to be successful. There is something about open access, something I was trying to understand yesterday. There might be something when it comes to train services and open access. If anything, I'm just trying to reflect on other governments, France, Japan, China, Germany, how well train services are designed there, and perhaps might be something with open access over there. Since trains would come on time, entire services would be managed properly, all those kind of things, right? But the successful of our industrial heartlands is success of our nation, so that the government is vitalizing our railway industry. British trains used to be the envy of the world. This government is going to turn our railways to the golden era once more. That's a strong statement. Treating those who build our infrastructure with respect and putting the passengers who use it first. Great. Let's take a look at the next article. That the government grows services to save small businesses time and money, which would be important, right? When reaching out to government, usually there is nobody to respond there. So government growth service, new business growth services will make it easier and quicker for SMEs to find government advice and support in all under one roof. Government is doing something that's always good, and that would be AI. So perhaps that would be software solution or perhaps even instant solution, right? A new business growth service will make it easier and quicker for SMEs to find government advice and support all under one roof. Services will streamline the government's offer to small firms, saving them time and money. Comes as a part of the week of government and all private sector action to help small businesses grow and run for small business Saturday. I don't know. Government is doing it. Let's take a look at other articles. We won't gonna be able to cover everything otherwise in 10 minutes. It's very unlikely. Usually the government would have feedback form. You would file so many, or any more people might be interested in filing so many of those feedback forms. And I can tell you what's gonna happen afterwards. Nothing. Other governments, they have initiated how to reduce the size of the government. So I would like to encourage, if there's going to be AI services, how we can reduce our government down to 20% to where government is right now. If we're going to take a look at the article, how to reduce government down to 20%, perfect. Then someone will get my attention. Then let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article, right? That will be next press release. The second UK-EU cyber dialogue takes place in London. The second UK and EU cyber dialogue took place this week. Both sides agree on to hold next UK-EU cyber dialogue in Brussels in 2025. Overall, cyber. There was feedback form, as I mentioned previously, which may have been filed for government to do more, but for government to do more and initiate more opportunities in cybersecurity, government would need more finances, right? And there might be some of those initiatives funded by the private businesses. So perhaps government should consider how to build or inspire more people to take on setting up businesses. So entire subject, again, it's very complex. Anyway, let's take a look at next article, right? Let's take a look at last article. That would be Estonia's company to test air-guided anti-drone missiles in Ukraine's USS. I haven't read it. Let's try to understand it. But that might be very important, in particular since we're entering heating season and critical infrastructure, including power stations, and how many of those and supporting systems, right, would be down during winter season. Perhaps what's operation 20%, 10% currently in Ukraine, and how to protect that critical infrastructure. That is just an example of many reasons why that would be important, right? I haven't read this article. Let's read it together. That would be Estonia defense firm. I don't know its company, right? So let's skip name. Plans to begin testing its innovative anti-drone missile in Ukraine 2025. I would be interested in understanding what the price of this rocket, as well as I have seen so many companies in the United States pursuing very similar capabilities. So it's something that was noted. We weren't gonna bring attention to those companies, but I thought it might be important to bring attention to Estonia and what Estonia is doing, right? The company, recognized as a leading defense technology startup in Europe, has developed missile designed to intercept Iranian Shahad drones at altitude of up to 2 kilometers. A key feature of the system is artificial intelligence capability for autonomous targeting. The technology is providing the new and we will start testing it. technology promising, and we will start testing Ukraine in the new year. Okay. We can take a look at some of the statistics, right, and how many of increase of drone and all missile attacks Ukraine is currently receiving. Kind of entire subject might be very complex. There might be a lot of systems at play. Precision systems with that need to have some satellites, I guess. Anyway, it's kind of interesting technology, but other than that, Estonia Defense Minister, again, let's keep the names, Ukraine's military protection capabilities, as well as perhaps there might be increase of Europe in defense spending. So if some of those governments, in particularly perhaps Estonia, who might today might be Ukraine, tomorrow might be Estonia, receiving some of those rockets. Where else would they would be able to purchase this kind of capabilities, and how much of those kind of capabilities might cost? I'm just saying, right? Speaking of the, let's keep some of those forums, right? But if anything, that would be a need for anti-drone missiles in there scored by Russians searching use of Shahed type kamikaze drones against Ukraine. According to Ukraine's Air Force, Moscow deployed more than 2,576 drones in November, up from 2023 in October. So the numbers are increasing, right? As well as Europe shift and need for building on their own capabilities, right? Let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.